aware of community in a connected world, and specifically regarding the ability to rely upon communities to.
How about the effect that the worldwide intercommunication network known as the World Wide Web has on community?
Okay, fine.
And the decline of community.
Right.
Okay.
Okay,
The rise
cool.
and fall of community.
All right, we are recording now. Welcome to Talking to Fin People. I'm host Eric. I'm here with Fin People Tiffany and Lorenz Walker. We're talking about the rise and fall of community, the the impact of the World Wide Web upon communities, and other things related to that. So, Tiffany, why don't you start? You obviously have some thoughts on this coming in.
That you talking to me or Lorenz?
Yeah, you.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's ideally I like to look at the idea of interconnectivity, the World Wide Web, everyone being connected to each other as a positive thing. I think there's a lot of potential for positives in community and just general living by having that, connection between different people, different communities, different sub-communities, etc. However, um, just like when you have things like socialism, which work way better on paper than they do in practice, there's this kind of disconnect that we get from being so connected. We get to the point where, we're sitting behind our computers, and because we're somewhat anonymous and because we can say what we want without anyone physically punching us in the face or having to gauge that reaction immediately, I feel like there's this emotional detachment that causes a decline in community as opposed to a strengthening community. But it can go both ways. I don't know. I want to hear what everyone else has to say.
Lorenz?
Okay. Well, depends on how far we want to look back, because I think in the past we've had stronger communities and stronger examples of communities, and just being more tight knit groups of people, and where we would look out for each other and just each other's well being. And then I've I think we've seen the decline in that, and then we've had the internet, and it's been an alternative route, but maybe not quite as effective in the strength of community, but probably increasing the quantity of communities, and so it's more accepting maybe to uh, a wider amount of people, but it just might not be as strong.
Well, I'm struck as you guys are talking, and I'm thinking about this, about the possibility that, to some extent, the nature of a person's relationship with another person is going to be dramatically impacted by how many dimensions you're sharing with that individual. So, like, right now, we're sharing one and a half. You got visuals of me, but I don't have visuals of you. And we got audio. In an ideal, in ideals, or not ideal, but if you had them all, you would be sitting so close to a person you could smell them, see them, hear them. You be physically in some sort of contact with them so that you can feel that, I mean, not like go rub your hands all over them, but in this scenario, you're maybe, sitting close to them or something. Um, you can, when you interact with somebody in person, it's an entirely, it's it's just different. But I'll tell you this: the closest I think you can get to it is GoToMeeting with video and audio and everything is pretty. It's pretty good. I mean, I feel like because at least because we or I don't know if you guys have shared the same experience about this, but I think it's because I'm an NTP. I tend to be lost in my head anyway. So it's like I'm only going to be using a couple senses. I'm not really going to be using sensory stuff so much. I'm going to be using visual cues and mostly auditory cues. Is mostly what I use for everything. So, I mean, on that
Well,
level, it's going to impact your relationships.
I think that the I think the problem lies in the internet, for example, is a tool. It's a very good tool, and just like so many other really good tools, when it's kind of overused and kind of taken as the only, like it's supposed to be used in conjunction with other things to help build community. But when you kind of rely on it as your only tool and you cut out those other things, preventing you from having those various sensory relationships with the people in front of you and whatnot, it I feel like you don't. Part of the reason communities can be so tight knit is because of how well you get to know the people in them and the bonds you form with them. And just like you were saying, like the more sensory, the more different experiences you can have as a result of being in communication with someone, the stronger that bond. So if we cut out a good portion of those bond-making tools in favor of just using the internet because it's easy and everyone has it, and we can talk to people and still be antisocial because we don't have to put our faces up and our voices up if we don't want to.
But on the
That
other hand, what do you think about this possible? Okay, let's say I concede that point, but there's another factor that's working in the opposite direction, maybe, which is in real life, especially if you're an ENTP, the pool of people with whom you actually get along with and have good conversations with in real life is going to be small. And
See, I see the internet as a great tool for people like us because that's how I found you to talk to. And I
right,
like talking to you. And there's very few people that I come in contact with in the physical world on a daily basis that I enjoy talking to at the same level that I enjoy talking to you and Zach and some of the other people on here.
right, I
And
feel the
if it
same way.
weren't for the internet, that
I
wouldn't
feel,
have happened. But for the people that need, or not necessarily need, but if I only had that, I think that would be detrimental.
but here's the thing. I think that people use the internet, like you said, as a tool if they want, or as an extension of themselves if they want, or whatever they want to use it as. But they do it to the extent that it works for them. Like I know my drummer, my ESTP drummer, he's never on the internet. And I know another ESTP drummer, or he might be ESFP, I'm not sure. But he's never on the internet either. And when he is, he writes like, two sentences like parties at this place. They just don't care. They don't. There's no risk of them abusing it in the fashion that you're suggesting that might be abused, because for them it's just not interesting. Like, well, why would you want to sit around and have these conversations about these ideas that go nowhere and don't do anything? I think would be most censors perspective on this. But they probably have their own little, like, dumb hobby community. Like, yeah, we're people who are into the Astros.
Well, it's also going to be an interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what happens to community, the internet, and online communities once we have a few more years for this whole virtual reality thing to really kind of play out. I mean,
I'm excited.
I wouldn't be too surprised if within 5 to 10 years it isn't too unreasonable to have a setup in your home where you put on a VR set and you go to a go-to-meeting room and you're all sitting around an actual table in a virtual reality environment.
Well, I know I think that's probably likely too. I read something recently that said they made some advancements in that area. I don't remember what it was, but
Well, there is an HTC Vive, which is one of the popular VR sets at my job that the CEO owns and has set up for us to just use for fun on our lunch break, and it's incredible. It's really incredible to see how far it's already come, and then just to think about a couple years down the line how insane it's going to be.
does it make you car sick?
No, but I have heard that there are issues with that in some implementations.
Lorenz, I want to hear your thoughts on this as well. You had some thoughts on virtual reality.
Um, I don't know. It's gonna be awesome.
Here's the thing.
People are gonna lose their lives to this thing, definitely.
Well,
Like, can I upload my consciousness online so that I don't have to deal with the physical body and I could live in a virtual reality?
you gotta pee. That's the thing. Can you? Does your virtual reality suit? Does your virtual reality suit deal with your urine? Is the question.
Lorenz is referring to the singularity when we would be able to upload our consciousnesses to the internet and leave our physical bodies behind and all become one consciousness as a human race. It would essentially be the end of humanity, probably.
Well, I mean, would you want to do that?
Well, that's the scary thought, that it's going to happen kind of without us necessarily making the thought, yes, I want to do this, hit the button, upload. It's kind of just going to happen.
Well, you mean you think? Okay, well, hold on, hold that thought for a second, because I gotta go. I have something cooking inside. I gotta go turn up the heat on it. I'll be right back.
What are your thoughts, Lorenz? You think we're going to hit the singularity in 30 years?
I don't know. Some crazy shit's bound to happen pretty soon. Our technological advancements are just gonna be growing like exponentially off of each other.
Are
The
you,
last 200.
are you, oh, sorry, go ahead.
It's just crazy how much progress we've made in the last 200 years of human history. We went from 1 billion people to 7 billion people. We have cars, planes, computers, all these things. It's just going to keep getting crazier.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons I think we're just a few years away from blowing the whole planet up.
Yeah,
But,
that's also a possibility.
are you into anime at all?
Yeah.
There's this old anime called Serial Experiments Lane that pretty much is all about the idea of people uploading themselves to the internet, and it's a real crazy, scary mind fuck. It's kind of hard to follow, but it's really good.
Okay, I'll probably end up watching it. I just looked it up now.
Yeah, I bought it on Blu-ray when I saw it in an FYE because I wanted to own it because it's so good.
It looks pretty good already.
Yeah, if you like mind fucks, it's up there. Have you checked out the new website yet?
What new website? Oh, no, I haven't actually. It's a forum?
Well, www.talkingwithfamouspeople.com is the main website. There's a link to the forum on there, and I'm looking into getting some kind of chat server started. But the forum you can create an account on. You just have to look for the confirmation email in your spam because it will go to your spam. But we have like an introduction section, a suggestion section. We're starting like an MBTI discussion section. If you have
Nice.
any ideas, feel free to post them in the suggestions. I will try to put them into place.
Sounds awesome. So, like, how soon is the human demise gonna happen?
20, 30 years is my best.
Hopefully, you guys didn't figure everything out without me. Hope you left some mysteries left for me to talk about.
Yeah, there's plenty of mystery left.
Okay, so where were we? Sorry for the delay there.
I don't know, we went off on a slight tangent.
Let's stop this one and come back.